Why about Munir's visit to Washington again? I mean, it must be an embarrassment to any country that the military chief gets invited and the prime minister is nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's structurally sort of imbalanced state where the military essentially has first claim on resources. On the day after these strikes on their airfields, they were the ones who came forward asking for time, asking whether we would be willing to meet them, talk to them. Why about Munir's visit to Washington again? I mean, this is really for the IMA to respond. I don't have any great opinion on this, but it's surprising to me, and it is a little bit of a. I'm sure it must be an embarrassment to any country that the military chief gets invited and the prime minister is nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's a very strange thing. I always found it very strange also that this gentleman sits on something called the Investment Facilitation Council in Pakistan, which basically takes economic decisions. So it's a weird, structurally sort of imbalanced state where the military essentially has first claim on resources, which is why, as I said, with a $370 billion economy, they are able to preempt resources from their pressing social and economic needs into this kind of a conflict. But be that as it may, they are our neighbor, and we have to handle them, in such a way that we establish some level of deterrence towards them.
Second attacks that we did on the airstrips and on the air bases was as a result of Pakistan's aggression?
Very much so. I mean, they did respond to our limited calibrated strikes on only on their terrorist headquarters and infrastructure by trying to hit our military establishment. In a sense, they took ownership of the terrorist as being kind of their assets, and they responded by trying to hit our military assets. Most of their attacks failed, but there were a few which got through with minimal damage and minimal casualties. But once they did that, we had no option but to respond in kind, and our response was, I think, sufficiently severe to make them sort of quickly come forward. On the first night after the strike, they refused even to, talk to our DGMO about, to have a discussion at all. They only said that just wait for our response. It was a very terse kind of a rebuttal. On the day after these strikes on their airfields, they were the ones who came forward asking for time, asking whether we would be willing to meet them, talk to them, and thereafter, of course, asking for a cessation of the hostilities. So that sequence should be very clear that they were the ones who capitulated and asked for